Hello and welcome to Juicy Scoop. Well, we've got a ton of juicy topics and shows to discuss, and I have your favorite, Chris Franjola, with me.
Thank you very much for having me back. It's been a while. My last time here was when Jeffrey Epstein had just broken, and now we have other breaking rape news.
Well, Ronan Farrow.
Yeah.
Who is absolutely gorgeous, by the way.
He is. There's not one bit of Woody Allen in Ronan Farrow.
No,
he
is gay. He is out.
He is out. Right?
The rumor is, or people think that he might be Frank Sinatra's son.
Yeah.
But he also looks a lot like his mother. But he does look a lot like Frank Sinatra.
But he looks zero like Woody Allen.
He looks zero like Woody Allen.
And he's supposed to be Woody Allen's sperm, like.
Yes,
not an adopted.
No, she carried him.
Yeah.
When she was with Woody Allen, Mia Farrow, who's an actress. Anyway, as you know, he's absolutely a brilliant reporter. He broke the Weinstein story, and he has a book that just came out yesterday. Or is it coming out next week?
I think next week, yeah.
And in it, he tells, I guess, the story of this one reporter that alleged that Matt Lauer of the Today Show had sexually assaulted her. So...
Now, can I just say something
please
before
do.
that? Now, you hadn't seen Matt Lauer at all, really, since his departure from the Today Show.
May I interrupt?
Yesterday,
I did drive by his Hampton house when I was staying at Jill's Errands.
It's amazing.
It's enormous, huge.
To tell you how large their property is, they're one of the first people to move out to the Hamptons with him and that girl from, that's back when she was a model for like Victoria's Secret.
His wife that he's been married to for like 20 years. She's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they apparently live still on the same property, but there's 4 houses on the property, and it's so big that they don't even really cross paths. That's how large the property is, that they can live on the same property, but not even really near each other.
And just text the kids to say, come over to the house
here,
number 3.
Come over there, and yeah.
Oh my God! Just for reading a teleprompter and interviewing some people along the way.
Yeah,
okay.
But he was very good at it. I'll give him that.
I know, he was
Lauer.
charming.
Yeah.
He was charming. And my favorite Matt Lauer story came from our good friend Jen Kirkman, who was on Tonight Show with him.
Leno,
and he was interviewing her. She sat down next to him, and he was kind of flirty in her opinion, which I don't doubt, but what was it? Something about her saying out loud that she was 40. And the minute she said she was 40, it was like she turned into like a melting witch. I think it was.
Now, I could be wrong, but now Jen can correct me next time on here. But the band, they all stayed after,
That's it,
and there was a band playing. It was whoever it was. It was like a hip kid band, like Vampire Weekend or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they, how the Tonight Show, they all stand and watch the band.
Right.
So it was Jay Leno, it was Lauer, and it was Jen watching the band play.
Uh-huh.
And I guess, from what I remember, Jen said he was kind of like his hands on her shoulders, like watching the band. Lauer was.
Yes.
And he said, "I'm too old for this," or something. This band.
Yes. And then she goes, "Well, so am I."
So am I. I'm 40, and he just like put his.
Because Jen does look very young, and she dresses hip. So
and Jen always adds 5 years onto how old she was. So at that time, she probably was nowhere. She was probably 40, probably 35. But remember, she always used to tackle. Now I think now she's always screaming on Instagram that she's 50.
She's not at all.
50,
no, she's not. No, she's younger than I am.
But she keeps screaming.
Anyway, she still looks really young, but. So I just thought that was kind of funny. So anyway, clearly he was a serial cheater.
But what I was going to say was...
a serial cheater, with whether, we could all agree, and so can he on that.
Yes.
Okay.
So this story broke today.
Right.
Yesterday, the day before, I think it was kind of doing a little bit of a slow rollout. Like, all right, let me try and get back in the good graces of the world. Okay? Because people loved me. But, now, just like that, everyone hates me. So I'm going to try and slowly get back in. Because as you notice, people are starting to come back a little.
Well, Billy Bush.
Billy Bush is back, but Billy Bush really did nothing wrong.
He chuckled.
He chuckled.
He chuckled uncomfortably.
And it was his job to chuckle. Honestly, that was what he was supposed to do.
I mean, out of all the casualties of that time,
right?
And that was like 3 years ago because it was before Trump won.
Yeah.
I really felt that one was the most forgivable.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you know, he didn't also say, Billy Bush didn't go, yeah, I like to grab women by the pussies too, and I did it at the yogurt shop last Thursday. I mean, there was nothing like that. It was like, sometimes you're just so shocked that you're laughing. I mean, if every second was like recorded, and then that's your character, you know, so I don't care that he came back. Again, I don't think there were people at home that suddenly were like, well, now I'll start watching Access Hollywood. I stopped 3 years ago when they got rid of my bully, Billy. Like, I don't think they had to bring him back, but I don't think anyone cares that they brought him back.
By the way, have you watched it, the new Access Hollywood?
No, what?
Where they do, like, these bad... they move
trying
the camera.
Trying to hip it up?
Yeah, try to hip it up. So they move the camera out a lot. The camera's constantly moving from backstage to the thing, you know,
from up above.
Right, yeah, and they're always sitting backstage like all full makeup, like it's, you know, they're discussing, you know, topics. And he's supposed to be the old man, like the young people have to explain to Billy Bush like
what Instagram is.
Yeah, and he's like, what is this? So that's the angle. God, and then he comes bounding on stage like he's the top reporter. Like he's about to talk about 9/11 or something. And
he's like, at the Jojo concert.
It's like, that's the news you're reporting? You're coming in here like you're going to say, breaking news.
You know what? I remember when Meredith Vieira had her talk show. She had one it was a 2-year commitment. And it was like, Meredith Vieira is great. She's a great reporter. She was great before The View. Anyway, they give her this talk show. And you know, at one point, they're like, all right, we got to hip it up. We got to young it up, whatever. And she would just be sitting there with like, and she had this awful way of sitting, like cut up wide-legged, like a little masculinity. And she was like, Ariana Grande feels, it's just like, come on, you don't care about Ariana Grande and her ponytail or whatever. And it was just like, so.
And then they would bring in like a round table.
They had a round table with like Lance Bass, who had to move out to New York for it. And I think he really liked it, but it was just one of those things where you're like, they're just trying to try different things to save this thing, and it's literally the Titanic going down.
That was back when every one of those daytime shows was sinking. They would bring on a sassy black girl, of course, would be at the end of the round table going, that's not the way we do it, girlfriend. Or something. So refreshing. And Meredith Vieira would be like, you know it, girlfriend, Miley said.
That's another one, You're just like, come on. And so, anyway, let's get back to the Matt Lauer.
My point was...
Yes, please go.
So he was doing this kind of slow rollout, I believe, of like, I'm cutesy again. So just like 2 days ago, he showed up on his daughter's TikTok, dancing real cutesy and fun. Like him and his daughter were doing like a lip sync, and he's dancing.
Isn't that the least he can do for his daughter?
Well,
she's ruined her life. Let her get some followers on TikTok.
She's not 11. She's like 20 something. So I'm saying, but anyway, they're dancing. So he's probably like, that's my first little dip my toe in the water of coming back. And then like today this comes out. He's like, well, stay off my daughter's TikTok.
So I just pulled this up. So I am going to read it because it's great. So the former Today host, this is from the Hollywood Reporter, is responding to Ronan Farrow's book, Catch and Kill Book, which includes several new claims leveled against him. That's pretty juicy.
Yeah.
So nearly 2 years ago, after his termination from NBC, Matt Lauer is responding at length to the claims of workplace sexual misconduct. And amid several new allegations revealed by Ronan, the former Today Show host released the following open letter today, October 9th. The former anchor now says that in the wake of the misconduct claims made against him in 2017, my silence has been a mistake. Now this is him speaking, quote, for 2 years, the women with whom I had extramarital relationships have abandoned shared responsibility and instead shielded themselves from blame behind false allegations. The former NBC personality's letter responds at length to a rape claim made by former NBC employee Brooke Nevels.
Now, this is the same girl who initially said that he was fired from the Today Show 4. This is the same girl.
Okay, so that she was assaulted while in Sochi, Russia, covering the Olympics for the network in 2014. The story Brooke tells is filled with false details, is what he's saying, intended only to create the impression that this was an abusive encounter. So, and he goes on, and this is part of his letter sent via his legal representative. Now, I remember there was a clip after this from him in Sochi that was like really inappropriate. Like he was asking somebody, I can't remember what it was, but he was like clearly like making it about her sexuality or something. There was something in Sochi.
It was Anne Hathaway.
That's what it was.
Yeah, it wasn't in Sochi. It was a Today Show, but
it was Anne Hathaway.
Someone had taken a picture of her, a crotch shot, like she was getting out of a car or something.
Yes.
And it kind of went all over, and she did not obviously not want to talk about it. It was whatever, some paparazzi picture, and he kept bringing it up, like.
Right.
Yeah, like I looked at the picture, and it was like really kind of creepy. Looking back, and he was like, I saw the picture. It is invasive, but it's, I saw it. I looked.
Yes, and you know what is always interesting is like, and I think finally like the world is realizing it. It's like the same type of thing when you like hear about, I interviewed this young girl who was raped, and her story, was a while ago.
Yeah.
But it was like she had to tell about her rape at 14 years old to 2 male detectives.
Right.
Like, finally, someone was like, well, do you want to speak to a female? And she's like, yes. I mean, now I'm sure they do that. And I'm sure, because, but it's the same type of things when you ask someone, when you've got a staff of 4 people that can interview this guest.
Right.
Like, now I always feel like they do put someone that they think is most like that person that they're going to be the most comfortable with. Whether it's, an older woman, they get the older woman to do it. If it's, a black guy, they get a black guy to interview. Like, I notice that all the time.
But
try to be like that. And I think they just let him do whatever he wanted. He got every good interview.
Yeah,
so they knew
that was
all
also
about
the
it.
pecking order of the Today Show. You knew where you stood, and celebrity-wise, if you had Lauer do the interview. Like, you felt a little C-list if it was like, Savannah Guthrie doing it at the 9 o'clock hour. You need the Lauer at the 8 o'clock hour, and then you were A-list.
Yeah, I don't think they told him to do anything. I think he had carte blanche. So if he wanted to talk about her crotch shot, they weren't going to stop it. Okay, so let's get to what he says.
This
Matt
is amazing,
Lauer.
by the way.
Over the past 2 years, people have asked why I have not spoken out to defend myself more vigorously against some of the false and salacious allegations leveled at me. It is a fair question and the answer to be deeply personal. Despite my desire to set the record straight and confront the individuals making false allegations, I want nothing less than to create more headlines for my kids who would read and new gatherings of photographs at the end of the driveway. But I did go on my daughter's TikTok, according to Chris Franjola. That part I added. So I decided to just stay quiet and work on repairing my relationships with the people I love. Okay, but my silence has been a mistake. Today, nearly 2 years after I was fired by NBC, old stories are being recycled, titillating details. Oh, titillating. Also, don't think you should use that word.
Yeah.
Details.
Nice titillating.
Are being added. And a dangerous and defamatory new allegation is being made. All are being spread as part of a promotional effort to sell a book. It's outrageous. So after not speaking out to protect my children, it is now with their full support. And if you follow my daughter on TikTok, I say enough. In a new book, it is alleged that an extramarital but consensual sexual encounter I have previously admitted having was in fact an assault. It is categorically false, ignores the facts, and defies common sense. Now here we go for the juice. I had an extramarital affair with Brooke Nevels in 2014. It began when she came to my hotel room very late at night in Sochi, Russia. We engaged in a variety of sexual acts. We performed oral sex on each other.
Yes.
We had vaginal sex.
Mm-hmm.
And we had anal sex.
Oh, you should be playing some nice music in this.
Each act was mutual and completely consensual. Anal. The kind of lube that we used was a gel from a small... No, he does not talk about that. But, I mean, he's getting some details.
That's so embarrassing having to tell anyone your sexual...
And then you have to say anal.
Yeah, that is bad.
I guess people always feel like anal's worse. Like, I feel like now everyone does anal. And I guess people say, Heather, you're wrong. But I've heard that's what the kids are doing. A lot of anal.
Yeah.
And...
I've heard that as well.
But for some reason...
A lot of butt eating, I've heard. Did you mention that? Did you mention butt eating?
No, but I would
Oral, I think, it kind of encompasses that as well.
I mean, I would hope that, whatever that happens, first we take, a hot shower before if anything's going to go down there. I would want to make sure it wasn't,
Right.
But I also think that... Do you remember in the movie Las Vegas? Leaving Las Vegas.
With Nicolas Cage.
Yes. And she's a hooker.
Elizabeth Shue.
Is a hooker, yes. Mm-hmm. And she agrees to have sex with some high school guy or 18-year-old or whatever in some hotel. And he ends up raping her anally. Okay?
Oh, really?
Yes.
I remember
that
scene.
They made such a big deal, anal is so much worse than a vaginal rape.
Yeah.
then she gets in the cab, and the guy's like, and she had like trouble getting in because her butt hurt, and the cab driver's like, looks like you had some backdoor entry that you didn't want or something. He makes a reference to it, and it was always like, oh my, and I remember that throughout movies, that like, if they made it clear that like, that was what was happening to a woman versus it's like, oh my God, that's like the worst thing that happened. So I guess maybe because her account is that was part of the assault, he wanted to make clear, like, yes, that happened.
Right.
But, she consented. Okay, so, okay, let's see. Anyway, the story Brooke tells is filled with false details, intended only to create impression that this was an abusive encounter. I already said that. Okay, wait. Nothing could be further from truth. Here we go. Nothing could be further. There was absolutely nothing aggressive. I'm getting kind of horny about this encounter. Brooke did not do or say anything to object. She certainly did not cry or say anything. She was fully enthusiastic. And a willing partner. I mean, enthusiastic.
No. She was enthusiastic because you're Matt Lauer.
And she thought it might help.
Or if so.
Yeah. And at no time did she behave in a way that made it appear she was incapable of consent. Now, if at this point he said
she was drunk,
she brought the anal lube.
Right.
Then she pulled it out of her purse and it was this kind. If they had a detail like that.
There's not that type of
detail. There was
detail?
no detail. So I don't know what She certainly did not cry. Oh, wait, I saw that part. Okay, sorry. No time did she behave in that way. It made it appear that she was incapable of consent. She seemed to know exactly what she wanted to do. The only concern she expressed was that someone might see her leaving my room. She embraced me at the door as she left. I am like... into the story. This encounter, which she now falsely claims was an assault, was the beginning of our affair. It was the first of many sexual encounters between us over the next several months.
Oh, wow.
After we returned to New York, we both communicated by text and by phone. We met for drinks, and she met me at my apartment on multiple occasions to continue our affair. Our meetings were arranged mutually. At no time during or after her multiple visits to my apartment did she express in words or actions any discomfort.
So maybe there was more butt. Maybe the butt just wasn't Sochi. Maybe it happened
clearly, if she's enthusiastic and this is everything she wanted, I would think she probably, if he's telling the truth, that she was down for it. But she's saying she's telling the truth, and he's saying I'm telling the truth. So who knows? With being there or with our affair. She also went out of her way to see me several times in my dressing room at work, and on one of those occasions, we had a sexual encounter. I assume a blowjob.
In the dressing room?
In the dressing room. It showed terrible judgment on my part, but it was completely mutual and consensual. Brooke now says that she was terrified about the control I had over her career and felt pressure to agree to our encounters after Sochi. But at no time during our relationship did Brooke work for me, the Today Show, or NBC News. Yeah, but we know that you got Ann
Curry
fired. We know how much power you had.
And not only Ann Curry, I also heard the one who went to do like an extra show, Natalie Morales. I heard
there was rumors that they had an affair.
There was rumors of it, yes.
Rumors.
And also that one of the reasons why she left the Today Show and went to...
Because they had an affair or because he...
But now she's back. She does, the third hour when one of the girls gets pregnant.
Oh, okay. So, okay, let's see. But I know the Today Show or NBC News. She worked for Meredith Vieira, who had not worked for the Today Show in several years in a completely different part of the network. And I had no role in reviewing Brooke's work. I admit, I ended the affair poorly. I simply stopped communicating with her. It's called ghosted, Matt. God, ask your TikTok daughter. Brooke continued to reach out. She admitted to NBC at the time she filed her complaint that she called me late at night while I was home with my family in an effort to rekindle the affair, but I attempted to go back to my life and pretend as if nothing had happened. I understood how that must have made her feel. However, being upset or having a second thoughts does not give anyone the right to make false accusations years later about an affair in which they fully and willingly participated.
Wow.
But that... Wait, go on. No, go on.
Isn't the accusation enough? Like, this is it. Like, now, Lauer, if there was any type of comeback that could have happened, whether this is true or not, just the fact that it's been written down by Ronan Farrow, it's over. That's all you need. Nobody needs your side of the story.
I mean, look, you shit where you eat.
Right.
Which you're not supposed to do.
Uh-huh.
And you put it in the shitter. You're not supposed to be dating people like, fine, be a cheater.
Yeah.
But how lazy, it's the same thing I say when guys cheat with the nanny that's down the hall. Like, how lazy do you have to be? You had to do it with someone at work. Like, you couldn't just get somebody else. So then, yeah, you not only are you a serial cheater, but you did. And she was your underling. And,
But now you say he's a serial cheater. Has there been other women accusing him? I've only heard from this woman.
No. There were I thought my memory, and that's just my memory from hearing the news, that I'm not, can say for sure, but I thought there were several.
I could be wrong, but I don't remember there being several. I thought it was just this one woman. I heard I heard he was flirty on the Today Show and stuff with guests and things like that. But I hadn't heard people accuse him of it.
Katie Couric was on Watch What Happens Live, and she said how he would touch her ass all the time.
And they all loved him. Like, Katie Couric loved him. Savannah Guthrie and him were very good friends.
Yeah. Well, I think it's possible that they had a fun, flirty relationship that was never sexual, and they were never aware that he was having sex with other people. Well, they could have kind of wondered about it and been like, but clearly not wanting to ask or, tell his wife, or maybe they chose not to be close to his wife because that would make it awkward. I don't know.
Well, he's gone now, and now you have Dylan Dreyer. I hope you're happy. The most boring.
I don't know which one Dylan.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody does.
Okay.
She's a weather girl.
Between February 2014, this is still him writing, Matt Lauer, and November 17th, Brooke and I saw each other more than a dozen times at professional gatherings, both large and small, despite the fact... Now,
what was her role on the Today Show? Was she like a production assistant or something? Or was she a producer?
I guess she was a producer.
Okay.
At a professional gathering, both large and small, despite the fact that our affair was over, she always went out of her way to greet me warmly and engage in conversation. It was not until I was called in to speak to the NBC attorney on November 28th, 2017, that I first learned Brooke had any complaint. I answered all questions openly and honestly for more than an hour. At that meeting, I was never told that Brooke claimed our encounter in Sochi was non-consensual. Had I been, I would have defended myself immediately. So that's important. He said when he went in there, he just thought they were asking about the affair. He did not know that she's saying it's not consensual. After Brooke filed her complaint in 2017, her attorney publicly insisted she wanted to remain anonymous. He said she just wanted NBC to do the right thing, but within a year she was reportedly out trying to sell a book, and it appears that she also sought monetary payment from NBC. Now she is making outrageous and false accusations to help sell a different book and stepping into the spotlight to cause as much damage as she can. Well, it's not her book. So her being interviewed by Ronan, she's not getting money for that.
Well, no. She probably
not that I'm aware. I don't know what the rules really are.
Well,
you couldn't pay someone for an interview.
Sure. Yeah.
Do you think maybe he paid her for an interview?
I don't know, but I think you could certainly.
But mostly, whenever people are like doing Dateline or anything, there is no payment. That's part of reporting. But Brooke's story is filled with contradictions, which Brooke is to believe. Here's all the things. 1, she claims her first encounter was an assault, yet she actively participated in arranging future meetings and met me at my apartment on multiple occasions to continue the affair.
This is Lauer saying.
This is Lauer. That's okay. 1, that she continued it after.
Yeah.
Which, all of these, I think, is the thing that I feel really hurts someone's story.
Right.
Because no one's saying, with the Harvey Weinstein too.
Yeah.
No one's saying that this didn't happen and this was horrible. And maybe you didn't tell anyone. And maybe you were embarrassed and maybe you didn't report it. And everybody understands why someone would do that.
Right.
It's when you continue and there's texts that aren't like, please leave me alone. I don't want to do this again. There isn't that. It's like, let's get together. If he has, I would need to see the text from her saying something like that.
Yeah.
Because now it's like, this is 2 years ago. Who knows? Like, what, do you have a receipt from... you'd have to show the text, which, 2 years ago, who has them? Okay, so... okay, wait a minute. Where did I go? Okay, then 2. She said... Okay, here we go. Oh, here we go. Oh, my God, there's a lot. Okay, number 2. She says, I was the one pursuing the relationship, yet once it was over, she was the one calling me, asking to rekindle it. Number 3, she says she felt pressure to continue the affair because I had control over her career, but she did not work for me at the Today Show or NBC. That part, I say, look, we all know how this shit works. It just takes one person up at the top that doesn't like you and they can get you fired. It doesn't have to be your immediate boss. This is producing TV, it is not rocket science. It's not like one person knows how to work the engineering button.
Right.
You are replaceable.
Oh,
So, you know, that I say, I'm not going to, that I don't question that she felt shit. You know, she doesn't want to piss him off. She said she wanted to remain anonymous, yet she was reportedly trying to sell a book within a year after filing her complaint. She said she just wanted NBC to do the right thing, yet she sought a monetary payment, and 2 years after I was fired, she is stepping forward to do more damage. The monetary payment thing, look, you know, you're out of a job, you have attorneys that are willing to fight this for you, everybody else is getting paid. I mean, Gretchen Carlson got $20 million from Roger Ailes. You hear that in the news, and you're like, fuck, I had something similar.
Right.
You know, I'd like to get something, and your attorney's like, yeah, we should go for it. You should go for it. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world that you... Okay, there are people who fully understand the actual dynamic that existed between Brooke and me. They have reluctantly and quietly reached out in the past 2 years and shared what they know. They have accurately described Brooke and her role in this affair. I hope those people will understand that these allegations cross a serious line, and what they can share is a vital truth, even if it may seem unpopular.
He's talking about like Savannah Guthrie and stuff.
Because of my infidelity, no one's going to stick up for you. They work for NBC. Yeah. Because of my infidelity, I have brought more pain and embarrassment to my family and most people, but not as much embarrassment as when I danced on TikTok with my daughter.
You keep talking about that damn TikTok.
Oh my God. I mean, they've been through hell. I have asked for their forgiveness, taken responsibilities, but by not speaking out, I also One such story I should have confronted a long time ago as an example of why I believe my silence was a mistake. Despite numerous erroneous reports in the past, there was not a button in my office.
No, now this one I will stand up for him for, because
it was an old GE office. There's been a lot about this button thing. Yeah, what is the story?
Well, from what I know about any CEO of a company or whatever, everybody has a button under their desk to shut the door for when you have like
a meeting.
Yeah. So you don't have to get up and walk across the room to shut the door. You know, of course, that one was it got blown out of proportion. It was like, and the door locked behind it like it was some weird.
So he says there was not a button in my office that could lock the door from inside. There was no such locking mechanism. It didn't exist. NBC confirmed this fact publicly following my termination.
Right.
You know what's really interesting? So I just interviewed this woman, and she had mentioned that in the podcast. He had a button. Matt Lauer had a button, so he could rape women. And I said, I heard that, and I go, I think that is something that I don't want to say on the podcast because I don't know that it could be true. And I haven't shared the podcast because there was a lot in there, and I need her to cooperate and sign a release because I'm not going to put something out like this like Ronan is. Like, is Ronan going to get sued now for sharing this thing in his book or whoever shared that part when it's not true?
Ronan doesn't seem to care.
He doesn't seem to care. It would have been impossible to confine anyone in my office for any purpose, and I have never attempted to make anyone feel as if they were confined in my office. I have never assaulted anyone or forced anyone to have sex, period. No, we know you had sex in the dressing room. You told us that. Not in the office. It was in the dressing room. Why is everyone getting on me? Anyone who knows me will tell you I'm a very private person. Dressing room only.
Yes.
I had no desire to write this, but I had no choice. The details I have written about here open deep wounds for my family, but they also lead to the truth. For 2 years, the women with whom I had extramarital relationships, because there are more, have abandoned shared responsibility and instead shield themselves from blame behind false allegations. They have avoided having to look at a boyfriend, husband, or child in the eye and say, I cheated. He's saying that's what the women are not doing by saying it was assault. They have done enormous damage in the process, and I will no longer provide them the shelter of my silence.
Wow.
Kelly, will you try to book Matt Lauer on the show, please? And tell him that I believe him about the button. But I would like to know more about the consensual anal in Russia. What if Russia was one of those countries where anal was illegal, and now that he said that, you know how like it's still like illegal in certain, or is it only illegal in certain states still?
Certain states still, but certain countries.
I'm sure that would make the story so juicy if they were if it happened in a country where supposedly that's still like illegal and they haven't changed it.
Right. Well,
what is next for Matt Lauer besides starting his own podcast?
Well, I heard that, I'm not joking when I say this. I guess before he became the Matt Lauer that we know today,
yes,
he was a landscaper. He had like a landscaping degree from. So I heard, I'm not kidding. I heard he was moving to New Zealand to pursue landscaping. And that's not.
Well,
a joke.
I don't think he has to move to New Zealand. The
He has
house
like
in the
30
Hamptons
acres
is
in the
gorgeous.
Hamptons,
To
yeah.
stay in the Hamptons, and you can trim those bushes. You
But
can't trim anybody's bushes at NBC.
No.
But you can trim the
You
bushes
don't need to
on
trim
your life.
bushes when you're putting it in the butt. You just go. That is. Yeah,
wow.
It's embarrassing for anyone to have to talk about their sexual proclivities.
Oh
you know,
my God.
it's just weird. But I guess you have to do it in these cases. You know, you have to talk about your sexual quirks, which is just. I mean, more. Now, where's this girl?
I mean, I think he's right though, because if this is the story and he believes this is his truth, he has a right to tell his story too.
Right.
And she had a right to tell hers. No one's ever going to really know the truth. I mean, yes, if he was to now produce text messages and everything, maybe we would believe him. I just think it's up to, does anyone really care at this point 2 years ago? You were a creep. You
Right.
cheated a lot with people that worked there. It was fucking uncool. It's not okay to do, whether
Right.
it's consensual or not. It's good that you left. It's good they got rid of you. But you know, if in her mind she maybe wanted it to, if she wanted it to stop, like it was a crazy night, I was drunk, I got into it, but then I felt like, I don't know, I want to read what her point of view is and then read this, because did she really feel like it had to continue? Was she, when he says she was calling him, was she actually just returning calls? Or when he said, hey, call me tonight, like they saw each other in the hallway.
Yeah.
And she's like, I better call him. And now he's saying that's when he was with his family. And she called, like, I don't know.
Right.
There's no way anyone knows but the two of them.
And I feel when you're so high profile like Matt Lauer, like it's very hard to like walk the streets of New York and have like somebody meet you at a restaurant. Everybody sees it. You know?
They didn't meet at restaurants or anything.
Well,
they met in the dressing room.
You said they had drinks. Didn't they say that we would meet for drinks?
Do you remember that, Kelly? Did they say that we met?
I thought you said
We're professionally, though.
Yeah, but still. I mean,
Yeah, but if it's 12 noon and someone's having like a nice lunch downstairs in like that restaurant near NBC in New York, and it's Matt Lauer and a woman that's wearing a blazer.
Yeah.
And it's like noon on a Tuesday.
Right.
I don't think people are going to automatically assume that they had anal in Russia.
Yeah. All right. Well, fair enough. But I mean, that now take what you just read, which at times was kind of hot because it was you're talking about Lauer, this good-looking guy,
right?
And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it had like a notoriously big penis. Remember that they have like shots of him and he used to wear real tight pants at the plaza.
Bigger than John Hamm.
Well, there's shots of it like you could see it in his pants. So this girl had to, handle quite a bit, I would imagine. So right there, that's another whole. She should have gotten a gold medal in Sochi. But anyway.
And I don't know if in fact this girl was married or had a live-in boyfriend.
You didn't mention
but
that.
But he makes it sound like she did, and that's why she went with this. I mean, if she. Is she reading this now and being like, fuck, he's lying? Like how frustrating her life is. Now, 2 years later, she's still in it. And,
Now, if you're any type of celebrity, could you imagine getting a phone call from Ronan Farrow? That's got to be the worst thing that can happen to anybody who's, of note. Or
you mean if you're a white male?
Yeah, like if you're a white male and says,
straight.
Ronan Farrow's on the line for you? Like, oh, shit. Just pack up your bags. Like, I gotta go. Just lock up. Thank you. I'm done. Gonna move to New Zealand.
The worst call ever. Wait, let me just think of someone that's like beloved and great.
Tom Hanks.
Yeah. Mr. Steve Harvey. Yes. I have Ronan Farrow on the line. Oh, fuck. Who else is like?
Yeah.
Who's the other guy that Michael Strahan?
Michael Strahan. Yeah, like Mr. Nice Guy.
Who is just Mr. Nice Guy? Tom Hanks. Who else is like the most beloved person that if we found out there was sexual assault, we know?
Al Roker.
Al Roker. Oh God, Mickey Rooney. No, he's dead.
Like what is it? Like Al Roker must have known these things. Like he's right there. He's in Sochi with him. Like he must. Like, you got to figure.
Yeah, but you wouldn't know that look,
come on.
Everyone's waking up early.
We've been on.
If
like,
someone
been
was
to countries
yes,
together.
we have. I would not know if any of you guys were boning someone else. We all had our own room. How the fuck would I know that?
I guess that's true. Yeah, because but we all would like stay in the same hallway and stuff.
I had a guy hit on me I still remember, it was so exciting. I didn't do anything.
Where?
Australia, the first time when we were celebrating Thanksgiving. We were there for Thanksgiving.
Yes, that's right. First one.
And I got this new cute little white dress at the stores in Australia. And we went for the fun dinner. And
they made us
I had
a
a few
Thanksgiving
drinks.
dinner.
And someone goes, oh my God, that executive from the Fox Australia, whatever, is like asking me all about you. And I was like, oh, and then so I start talking to him. And he didn't really have a cute face, but he was tall. He used to play professional basketball or whatever in Australia. Yeah. Now he's an executive. And, right off the bat, he says he's married with kids, same here. Anyway, I left with the group as I did. But there was this part of me that's like, if I didn't have morals,
right,
I'm sure I could have been like, what are you doing after this? I'm staying at the Sheraton.
Oh, come by there. I like come by the Sheraton, put in your butt.
I could have boned this guy all night.
Yeah.
And who would have known?
Right.
I would have said to the guy, come in about an hour and a half. I'm going to tell everybody I'm done for the night. Yeah. I would have gone up to my room. You guys would have gone somewhere else. He would have gone up to my room. None of us were next door to each other. There's no way you would have known.
Right.
He would have left. I would have taken it to the grave until we recorded this episode.
Wow, sounds like it happened to me. I'm gonna call Ronan Farrow right now.
Oh my God, amazing!
Story. That's a great. But now I watch the Today Show, and I mean, it's just so boring because they have to, they don't want in trouble anymore, so. They went with this Dylan Dreyer, who's just this so boring.
Is he dry with a name like Dylan Dreyer?
No, it's a woman. Oh. She would do weather when Roker wasn't there. Now she's.
Are you sad that they got rid of Tamron Hall? She has her own talk show.
I know, and she was
very good. They didn't get rid of her. They took away the third hour, so she was a regular on it for 2 hours. Then her, Al Roker, and somebody else would do the third hour. Then they gave that to Megyn Kelly. Yeah. Then Megyn Kelly talked about that she wants to do blackface for a Halloween costume. Didn't find there was any problem with it.
And that was the end of that.
Then she got kicked out.
$75 million. Still left with that. And Lauer left with his $25 million, I heard.
Again, so this girl's like, you know what? And Gretchen Carlson gets 20. Not that anybody doesn't deserve. That's their deal.
Right.
That's their thing. But she's probably like, yeah, I could use some money. Now nobody wants to hire me either because they might think she's a troublemaker. Not only does she have affairs, but what if she has an affair, or what if she then claims something happened that didn't happen? You're like, oh my God. So who knows?
She can only work on ugly guy news, those local, where every anchor is just an ugly man, where she wouldn't be tempted.
Wait, I have, speaking of juicy sexual stories. Okay. Former students at James Franco's acting school sue allegedly sexual impropriety. Okay, now this story I have a connection to.
Well, as do I.
Okay.
Because I know, first of all, do you know where this acting school is? It's in Burbank.
Okay.
So it's not very glamorous. It's in a very weird spot on Magnolia in Burbank. Very strange little area. Secondly, as a guy who's gone to acting school, and I believe you have as well.
Yes, I have it. I've got a good story for you.
It's nothing but sexual impropriety. That's all acting school is.
It's okay.
Because I read these stories about what he did. It was an improv troupe, and he, made out with girls. He seemed like he would do improvs leaning towards sexual stuff.
Well, what they said is there's two different lawsuits. Yeah. One is two girls brought it, so since there's more than one, it's class action, and it's on a business. And they said it was, in order to get into the master program, you had to do these scenes.
This is James Franco, by the way.
Yes, James Franco, the actor, yes. Yeah. You had to do these sexual, the very high sex scenes that were way beyond the norm that you would do in a classroom.
Right.
And he and his friends or whatever would watch, he'd film it, and I don't know that they really got into them having sex with him, but I think that it was just inappropriate stuff like that.
It was acting school stuff, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then the other one was just that it was just a shitty school. They just felt like their money were taken and they didn't really learn.
Yeah, he was never there. They thought he was going to be actually teaching them, and I heard them saying he never.
So 5 years ago, my really cute niece that
Yes.
was on Chelsea Lately and After Lately.
I remember her, yeah.
I remember exactly where we were in my jacuzzi, and it was like in between my dad dying, but before my mom died, and she was over, and she is an aspiring actress, and she was very excited to say that she's been accepted into James Franco's acting school. And I immediately thought, why the fuck is James Franco having an acting school? Like, isn't he busy doing movies? This seems very weird. And I immediately said, who my niece is so cute and was in her like mid-20s at the time or early 20s, I was like, I don't know. I'm like, I feel like I've heard stuff about him being a creeper, and I don't know that I'm like, I'd watch out about this. So my sister has reached out to her, but I don't think she stayed in it. I don't think she stayed in it, but I would love to get her opinion of what she thought of it. But my immediate thought was, be careful. This does not sound legit.
Yeah.
This sounds very strange. So here's my acting school story.
Okay, go ahead.
So in between the Groundlings or something, which Groundlings is fun and it's improv and you're writing your own stuff. I had some agent or some manager, you got to take a scene study class, Heather. You've got to learn how to like do these lines and do a scene. And that's what everyone else was doing. So I got recommended by this for this school on Robertson.
Okay.
And the guy said that he was J-Lo's acting coach. And this was so long ago that J-Lo had just bursted in...
Selena.
No, maybe it was before Selena, but she did something where she was in some movie with like a couple people and like she was getting some heat. And it was the first time people like noticed that she had like a big ass. And that was like the first time people talked about
I think
like,
it was that George Clooney movie. Yeah.
Yes, it was the George Clooney movie. She just so for some he claimed that was his client or whatever, his student. Anyway, I meet this guy and he's kind of funny and quirky, and so we're gonna do a scene together. And I have no idea what his name is, but I can kind of still see him. And he came out here and he was a few years older than I am, and he's like, this is when Friends was really big. And he started to wear all those bowling shirts that Chandler wore. And he said, I feel like this is... Now, we didn't say brand back then. That was not a word that was used.
No.
But he's like, I feel like this is my image. I'm a Chandler type. I should be doing sitcoms. I can do those funny lines. I'm kind of goofy. And I can wear these bowling shirts.
This was the actor.
This is the other actor.
Yeah.
I was like, whatever.
Great idea.
But we had a good, fun friendship. I could tell, sure, he was sort of attracted to me, but he didn't try anything. So we get, or I don't know if I picked it or not, but a scene from Same Time Next Year.
Okay, Christopher Reeve.
Which is a great...
Not
Christopher Reeve. Alan Alda was in the movie.
Yes, Same Time.
But anyway, it's a classic movie, a Neil Simon, I think, movie that was a play that became a movie about a couple. They're both married and they meet every year at this same place and they have sex. And it's a really cool movie only because you see what goes on in history. Like they come and now she's like a hippie and she's going back to school, but they have kids and it's just very interesting. There's great scenes and there's funny scenes and there's poignant scenes and whatever. So we picked some scene. I don't remember what. And we're trying to do this scene and we're sitting on this bed doing this stuff.
But now you meet. See, this is what I always. Now you go meet at his apartment or your apartment. So creepy.
Right? Yeah. You have to meet. And sometimes some of these people like literally were living in a garage in Venice.
Yeah.
And you're like, this is where we're going to meet. And then the wife is looking at you like.
And this is before phone, like cell phones or anything?
Yes. And you had to go meet and like do these scenes. And so we would meet and, have fun, whatever. And all of a sudden, so we do the scene, and he's not doing great. He's like not in his head. He's in his head. He's fucking up. And the director, of the school, the teacher, is like, cut, come here, whatever his name is. Takes him like outside and talks to him, whatever. Comes back. We try to do it again. I don't know. We finish the scene. The actor guy, later on tells me that the guy was like, have you fucked her yet? Because that's your blockage. If you want the scene to work, you got to have sex with her. Really? Me! And at the time, I was a fucking virgin, okay? Yeah. And he told me, and I was like, and he didn't even think it was like offensive or bad. He was just telling me the truth, that the acting teacher had said that. And he's like, but look, I don't know if I want to start that whole thing with you because like you're Catholic, and what if I got you pregnant? I don't want a baby. Like, first of all, I don't want to have sex with you. Second, I certainly don't want to have a fucking baby.
Not that bowling shirt.
You're not Chandler. You're not going to be able to support this baby. I was like, what? Anyway,
Wow.
That month it ended. I did not sign up again. I was like, how? I don't think I ever even went back. I was like, I was smart enough to know even back then. I mean, now people would be losing their minds if someone said that to someone. Why haven't you slept with your? But I was like, ew, that's so wrong. I'm paying this guy like an enormous amount of money to go to this dumb class, and he's like being sexual. Like I thought it was terrible. So but I feel like that was a lot. And then I went to this other acting class, which there was a woman, and this one was off of right near like on Ventura, like Studio City, upstairs, one of those places.
Right.
And I was doing, and she's like, get angry. Why can't you get angry? What's your blockage? And then I was like, I don't think I was ever allowed to be angry in my house. Like, if I even, looked a little sad, my dad would be like, what the fuck's wrong with you, sourpuss? I'm like, nothing, Dad! Like, start to tap dance. So, like, I was like, maybe I am blocked where I can't get angry. She took me out of the room and in, like, a closet or something. And she's like, you're never going to make it. You're going to be a realtor for the rest of your life. Just know that. If you can't get out there and show some real anger. And I was like, fuck. Like, I was like, what is this psychotherapy? Like, half the acting schools are probably cults and being sex trafficked. I mean, it is.
They are.
They are. It is weird. It's like, and you're supposed to give, and you do massages for each other, and then people like do naked. Like sometimes they're just like walking around naked, and oh my God, she's so brave. She's naked. Like it is. And I just remember one time being at the Growlings, and this one girl she's been on a bunch of sitcoms. Alex, she goes, is that all right if I never take another scene study class again? Do you think I can make it? And everyone's like, and I was like, of course you can. Like, we're doing sitcom work.
And nobody in acting class makes it. You never hear a guy go, oh, I did a great scene and now I'm Natalie Portman. Like, her family was in the business and now you're Natalie Portman. You know, you don't hear anybody making it from, like, an acting class, do you? Very rarely.
Well, did I ever tell you about how I got into SAG?
No.
I don't know if I may have to cut this out. I'll see.
For those of you who don't know, SAG is Screen Actors
Guild. Yeah. And it was a real big deal. It was like a catch-22.
Yeah.
No agent would take you if you weren't part of SAG.
I remember.
But the only way you can get an agent is if you're part of SAG. So if you're not, but you can't get any acting jobs unless you were SAG.
SAG eligible. Remember that one?
So the only way you could do it is honestly being like an extra, and you'd have to have a line as an extra in order, and you need 3 of those vouchers to join SAG.
I remember it.
So I remember I taking an acting class from a guy who was not a creep, okay? He was just an acting teacher, another acting teacher. And I go, I just need an agent. And I said, come on, there's got to be someone I can pay to get me a fucking SAG card.
Right.
I mean, this is straight out of, like, the college scandal.
Yeah.
Okay? I wonder if I'll get kicked out of SAG for this.
No.
Whatever, I'm telling it.
Yeah,
30 years ago. So he goes, there's a guy named Wayne. I swear to God.
Yeah, Wayne goes Paul.
And I go, really?
Yeah.
And I called up Wayne for $300.
Yeah.
He made the vouchers.
Sure.
That then looked like I was like on a Budweiser commercial.
Everybody
and something
did that.
else.
We all did that. Everybody did it. We
Okay.
all did it.
Well, write me if you did it. I then gave the number to a couple people.
Right.
And you risked it.
Yeah.
You sent a $300 check in the mail. He was never going to show who he was because he worked there.
Yeah.
But I was like, hey, it worked for me. Then I had to pay another $1,150 then to get in it. Then once I got my SAG card, but that guy that gave me Wayne's number was like, he needed an agent too. And he goes, well, once you have your SAG card and you go out for like trying to get agent meetings, can I come in and do a scene with you so that maybe I can get an agent with you?
Oh, God.
I'm just so glad I don't have to do that. Like, agents don't really matter anymore.
I know.
Thank
it's
God.
Just a whole different world
you guys have
now.
no idea how easy it is that you can, like, create your own business and get people to see you without having to, like, kiss these agents' asses and send a check to Wayne. Or possibly have sex with someone in a James Franco's acting class.
Well, at least there's James Franco's acting class. Like, I remember I went to acting school in New York, Uta Hagen, like a very famous acting coach. And everybody was like horribly ugly. Like New York actors were like real ugly back then. You know, like if you were good looking, you came to L.A. That was the thing. Like,
yes.
And then New York actors were like character actors, like little runts. You know.
So then did you one day?
So nobody wanted to fuck anybody.
So one day you looked in the mirror and you said, "Kris, you're gorgeous."
I basically did. I'm like, what the hell am I doing with these freaks? I could be because somebody. I went to like a seminar and the guy told me, he's like, "What are you doing here? New York's for freaks. Go to Hollywood. You're gorgeous." Back when I was gorgeous, I'm not good. And I did. I was like, "You're right," and I took off. I left those freaks behind.
Well, anyway, we'll say that via his attorney, he's also denying all of this.
But he's had his problems in the past. He, didn't he hook up with some, or text some 15-year-old girl or something after?
And didn't his brother do something?
Well, his brother's married to the girl from
maybe
Glow
not.
or something. Yeah.
What is the story?
No, I don't think.
I don't know. Okay, Jojo. Let's talk about Jojo for a minute.
That's from in 1980?
No! Jojo is a huge star right now, and every big star's little kid wants to go to Jojo's concert.
Wait,
and this is the way she dresses.
From today's?
Yes, from today's world.
Wow.
She was just on Keeping Up with the Kardashians, and I didn't understand, but her voice is very deep. And she's like 17.
Jojo.
This girl, but she still has to dress like this and do like glitter and stuff.
Yeah, that looks like
So my question is like, when does she say I want to stop wearing the glitter? And my prediction is one day she's going to make she's going to have a beautiful wife one day. That is my prediction.
Really? You
Yes.
think she's lesbian?
I think she might be.
Why do you say that? Based on what?
Based on the little bit that I saw of her on Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
What does her voice sound like? Is she like that girl?
She's like, I don't know. I saw it for 1 second, and it was just kind of deep in the way she acted. And I think that's great if she is. She may not know it yet. She still has to act like she's 11, but she's 17.
Yeah.
And just to do that big hair. And I just remember the child actors, where, like, on Mrs. P, what was it? There was a show called with like Mr. French.
Oh yes.
And there was that
Mr. Belvedere.
Right. I don't know. There was this kid actor that had like pigtails, and there were rumors that this is a total urban myth. Okay.
That she was the robot girl. The girl had the robot.
No. Anyway, there was a rumor that this child actor that they would make her sleep with like rods to keep her from growing, so that she could keep being on the show.
Back in those days, they used to do shit like that. I heard. Alfred Hitchcock, he hated working with kids. He was notoriously hated children.
Yes.
And he used to nail their shoes to the ground so they wouldn't move. Like, not through their feet.
So that the blocking wouldn't get screwed up.
Yeah, so the blocking would get screwed up. He would nail the shoes to the ground, then you put your feet into the shoes so you wouldn't be able to move. You'd be nailed to the floor. Alfred Hitchcock did that famously. So.
We talked about this the other day when we were together. We ran into each other at the airport. And I said that when I was little... And let me know if anybody my age had this happen.
Right.
Because I think my mom was scammed by a doctor. They said, "Oh, look at your daughter's legs. They're very bow-legged." Now every baby's legs are bow-legged, and then they walk and then they straighten out. They're like, And anyway, they put these little shoes with a metal rod bar in between them.
My brother had it. Yeah.
And I had to wear that all night long. And my mom said that I'd get so pissed that I would like bang it against the crib and like wake up the whole family. Oh, and anyway, I do have great legs and they're straight.
Yeah, so
but
it worked.
I don't know. I have a feeling that like, why isn't anyone else wearing bars on their feet?
I think people were.
No, but if they're not now, that must prove that was an unnecessary thing.
Yeah, things have changed. No, it's definitely an unnecessary
Like everybody had their tonsils taken out. That must have been like every doctor must have gotten like 5,000 every time he got a tonsil taken out.
Well, the new one apparently is they tongue tie. They say the baby's tongues are
too thick.
They have a thing on the bottom, but they can't lift their tongue and move it around.
Oh.
So that's the scam. Apparently, they get paid a lot by the
insurance
companies.
Medical.
It takes 2 seconds to go clip. But the doctor there's no such thing as a tongue tie. It's like kind of bullshit. There is, but it's not as prevalent as people say.
Like how there's always commercials like, "Do you have sweaty palms? Call us now!"
Oh, yeah.
Because they're like, we'll do a sweaty palm thing. And I think there's places I think there are scams like that because we've read about them where the patient gets a little money on the side, they get a huge amount of money, I don't know if these people are not on insurance or they don't have it, so the Medi-Cal pays, or like when people would put like gold fillings in like children's baby teeth.
Yeah.
Oh, they have cavities. They're like baby teeth. What are you doing?
Oh,
but they would get all that. They'd get a huge payout.
You see like little Mexican kids. They all had like totally silver mouth. They'd cover their whole mouth with
yeah, because
fillings.
they were told they needed that, and then the Medi-Cal people would pay. Anyway, all right.
So weird.
So Jojo, I hope one day she can be herself. I think what's going to happen is she's going to be like so happy when this thing can stop and she can take this bow out of her hair, and then I think she's going to go crazy like Miley.
Is she a singer?
Yes. Then she's going to go crazy like Miley.
Like Miley.
Like sexually, she's going to be like just going through stages.
Straight again. Miley.
Yes. So now now Miley broke up with her husband, Liam Hemsworth. Then she got with Brody Jenner's ex-wife, Caitlyn Jenner. And now she's with, who is this?
Cody Simpson.
Cody Simpson. So they probably knew each other from the Disney days.
Yes. Yeah, Cody Simpson's been around a while doing, I have no idea what he does.
You know what's so weird? It's like, really, you don't, if you're boning Cody Simpson and you had one date, like she's the one that posts this shit and takes the photos. She wants everyone to know everything about her life.
Yeah.
And then she's like, leave me alone. I want to have my own life. Like, well, you're the one that is doing all this.
Yeah.
You could keep it more private if you wanted. You don't have to be on Instagram.
I mean, how long has it been since Hemsworth? It's been like 3 weeks and she's had like 4 relationships. And you know, gay one, straight one, all sorts of
I think she's
fun.
super, super horny. Super horny.
Yeah.
Like insatiable horniness.
Now, isn't this Cody Simpson? He was on, if I'm not mistaken, Dancing with the Stars at one point. Correct? Yeah, I believe he was. I believe he was on Dancing with the Stars. Way back early on. So that was, other than that, I think he's some sort of musician.
Well, he looks cute and he looks to have nice lips. So good for him.
Yeah.
Todd Chrisley and his wife Julie were cleared of tax evasion charges in Georgia.
Right. Good. Yeah.
I mean, good. I don't want anyone to be a criminal.
Yeah.
But I have to say, I am kind of surprised.
Yeah.
When the story came out, I thought, wow, this is, too much not to be true. And he was right. He's honest. If you were to cast a gay man in a show or write a sitcom, he would be perfectly cast. Okay, like typical, like
Southern.
he really acts like the guy in Will and Grace.
Yes,
that's exactly how he acts. Like what's Sean Hayes.
Yeah,
he acts exactly like Sean Hayes' character in the original Will and Grace.
Right, but
he's married in real life and has a reality show with his wife in real life. And I've always said I believe that he does not have any relationships with men because that would have been found out too. There's no way if he ever got with a guy that it would not have been revealed on some blog. Like, please. Like, some guy's not going to keep that to himself. That someone wouldn't have that on it.
He reminds me very much of a guy Joe Simpson, who was Jessica Simpson's father, had the same vibe. Now he's fully out, right?
He came out. I told you about when I went to that party and met him.
Oh, you met Joe Simpson?
I kept going like this with his mouth in a clothing line. And this girl I know was like doing his PR. And so she's like, want to go to Joe Simpson's house in Malibu? And I was like, come on, Peter, let's just go and we'll go out to dinner after. Yeah. Like, I just want to see what this is. And we get there, and this is like 4 or 5 years ago. The entire party is young gay men. Entire party. Okay, except for my PR friend and like maybe a couple other girls and like Peter and me. And the clothing was it was like a long black, it was like an Oxford long black shirt that would go down to your knees, and the top and the bottom half was white.
Oh,
it was like wrapper, I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
And I remember the younger daughter, the one that's married to Diana Ross's son.
Ashley Simpson.
She came.
Yeah.
But Jessica didn't.
Oh, okay.
And I think after that is when he kind of came out with it.
Yeah. I think it's just a matter of time before this Chrisley guy comes out.
How
about that? You made your JoJo prediction?
You think he's going to come out?
Yes.
I absolutely disagree. At this point, why would you? And I also think he loves his wife and he loves being in the family. But you know who did come out, shockingly. I've talked about it on the show, but I didn't talk about it with you.
Who?
The Mormon girl that was kidnapped, her dad.
I know that, yeah.
What is the name?
Yeah.
Smart. Yeah, Elizabeth Smart.
Elizabeth Smart.
Her dad They were a very strict
Yeah.
Mormon family. They had like 6 or 7 kids.
And he would hire handsome, homeless handymen to come to his house and do work around the house.
Actually,
that's one of the people who took the girl.
But I do remember it was her who hired him. It
Who,
was the
mother?
wife who saw him begging and was like, that's the other thing when
Come
people are
over and work on the
like,
roof.
you see homeless people and you get mad. Well, why don't you give them a job? Well, look what happened.
Yeah.
So it's a homeless person, and they were like, oh, would you like to work on our roof? So then he worked on the roof, then came back 6 months later and kidnapped the girl.
Right.
And but I think but they would do that a lot, thinking that they were doing like the Christian thing, like bring home, in the Bible it says bring home the person that they brought home, the beggar or whatever. So
things were different in the Bible, though. Those different times. The beggar.
they didn't have meth.
Yeah, exactly.
No, they had frankincense and myrrh and meth.
Right, they didn't have any of that.
And 3 wise men brought heroin, meth, and vaping.
So the smart guy would just go out and go, now get up there and work on that roof. Who knows, it's hot out here. Go ahead and take off your shirt. The homeless fella. Oh,
anyway, he's
out. I know and that's one of those ones where we all watch it and like, oh, of course he's like a gay man.
I did not think he was gay. I
come
thought he was
on.
just a truly like Mormon, soft-spoken person.
There's a very fine line.
But you know what? He'd been through hell and back. At one point, they accused him.
Yeah.
His daughter lived. She went on to continue to play the cello. Got married. Had a baby. Is now producing like shows where.
Mormon.
Victims are like, so I think she's probably like, I feel badly for his wife that there was some deception happening in his marriage, but good for him for coming out.
Right.
But with the Chrisley guy, I think he loves his life the way it is.
All
So
right, well.
you might be wrong. Okay, now, this story was very sad and very confusing to me.
It was amazing. It came out a few weeks ago.
So this Louisiana man drowned after an underwater proposal to his girlfriend. Okay, so they're at some beautiful resort, like Tanzania. I don't know where it is.
Yeah.
And they show right here. Oh wait, I didn't have the photo of it. But anyway, the way they finally figured out what killed him, because what it was, when we first read the article, it's like one of those things where.
He went too deep.
It's a floating room, and below is glass.
Yeah.
So he got out in the water, went in the glass, tapped on the window. She looked at, he had this letter saying, will you marry me? Now, my first issue when I found out that he never came back up alive, I said, why did you have to write such a long letter?
Well, he actually wrote that in the letter. He says, I can't hold my breath long enough to tell you. Like, it's just.
But it's still too long.
And
why didn't it just say, will you marry me? And then she could go, yes, and then he could go up and live.
Yeah.
So the letter was too long. It was hard to read. He did it with just like a ballpoint pen. It looks like there was writing on the writing on the back. It was
loose leaf
it should have been it should have been like.
Yeah.
Anyway, they found out what happened.
What?
So when they got him, there was, because I was like, how did you not get up there in time? Yes. So he was probably so out of breath that he shot straight up, and then there was a thing above his head. He should have swam out and around.
Yeah.
So then he hit his head really hard, and then that must have probably knocked him out to the point where he couldn't continue going up to breathing because he was knocked out. So he knocked out and drowned.
Oh, it's both tragic and almost like funny. You know what I mean? It's like of all the things.
Of all the things, and it's like the letter was too long.
Yeah.
And you didn't think about that thing coming out. Like you should have had it planned more. You should have had a fellow diver with you. And people always say you're not supposed to snorkel alone. You're not supposed to swim alone in your pool.
No. Did he have a tank on, or did he just?
No, just snorkel.
Yeah.
But they said he was a good
snorkel doesn't work once you're under
snorkeler.
the water. It only.
So Dorit is Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
That's the Studio City, that house, isn't it?
No, it's not. Everybody's making the exact same house.
Oh God!
Everybody
every house
is
in
knocking
Studio
down.
City.
This is
house.
Every kid from Vanderpump has bought an exact. It's like a farm, modern-looking house.
Yes.
And every single developer in the LA area is making the exact same house.
Yes.
It's clean. It's white. It's big. Farmhouse. Anyway, this is a very pretty house, and it's in Encino. It looks like it's brand new, and she is living in next door to Kyle. But people were saying, how did she buy the $6 million house? Because supposedly they have some financial issues or something, allegedly. But then, now somebody wrote this, so I'm not saying it's true, but I find it kind of interesting that their last house that they lived in, there were other people that owned it, but they lived in it.
Right.
But they were on $1 million listing, acting as if it was theirs, trying to get the two guys on the show to sell it. And someone said, no, I've read about this, that in fact they get investors, or investors own the house, and then they go in and live in it, and then they film it for Bravo, because to these investors, because this house would go for sale for like $6 million, to have that be part of that for 6 months or a year will give it so much exposure that that's like worth either no rent or a very little rent or free rent or whatever.
Sure,
now, I don't know if that is true, but I think that's a great idea.
Yeah. I think it is too.
And why not? You're exposing your life. You're getting people are going to see this house,
right? And
you want a nice place to live. Everybody wants them to be rich and glamorous. Everyone's mad that like Real Housewives aren't as rich as they used to be because Heather Dubrow's gone. Well, guess what? You're never going to get the Heather Dubrow's back on the show. Anybody with some real fucking money is not going to expose their life so that the DA can come after them because, you know, they paid their gardener under the table.
Now,
you can't...
How come nobody makes more about the fact that Heather Dubrow's brother-in-law was the lead singer of Quiet Riot? I think that's amazing to me. Kevin Dubrow, who's now dead. But come on, feel the noise, girl.
I mean, I know it.
That's
and
her
I know,
brother-in-law.
Yes, and I know that she's mentioned it and stuff.
Anyway,
but
I find that fascinating.
Totally. They grew up in Van Nuys.
Yes.
Terry Dubrow told me, like, you know, and how interesting
Kevin Dubrow.
And kind of interesting that his brother was a rocker and he became a doctor. Usually there isn't that kind of dichotomy in a family.
I know.
But also, Real Housewives of OC news, which I constantly bring up, and I don't think other people realize, and you are going to love this tidbit.
Go ahead.
Vicky Golvinson,
okay,
and I never say her name right, who is the original OG.
I know her well, Vicky.
She is engaged to Steve Lodge, who's a good-looking guy. He's like 60. He's like a former sheriff.
I already know where you're going.
He is the brother of Roger Lodge, the host of Blind Date.
Roger Lodge. Well, you still see around town. He does sports radio.
Now, I don't know if Roger and Steve are best friends.
Yeah.
If Steve ever was a little jealous that he went the cop route.
Right.
And Roger got to just read off teleprompter about dates.
Yeah.
But look who's getting the last laugh.
There you go.
Stephen Lodge.
Wow.
Marrying Vicky, and he gets to be on TV, just being himself, having drinks at a party. Where's Roger?
He does like a sports radio show.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah,
thank God.
Sports radio, yeah.
Thank
as
God.
far as I know. Yeah,
I don't want there to be any sibling rivalry between brothers.
Now, can I ask you about Dorit?
Yes.
Now, is that a frosted lipstick? Is that a back frost? I thought that was taboo, frosted lipstick. That's what that looks like to me. I
think it's a bright pink. I think you can wear any color. People wear blue. They wear bright pink.
But remember
the
frosted was all the rage?
Yes.
Is that still a thing?
When I was in high school, there was a lip gloss. And the number of the lip gloss was called 44. And it was so frosted and so white. And we were all like, do you have the 44? The entire cheerleading squad wore 44. And, oh my God, if anybody remembers 44 lipstick, I don't know what it was, but it just, the minute you put on, you looked cuter.
Yeah,
the minute you put it on, you looked tan, your teeth looked white.
Yeah.
It was like, and then, of course, they fucking probably discontinued it. That's another thing I have, and sorry that you're a guy and you may not know. There is this thing that's very tragic with women. You find your great lipstick. It's Bobbi Brown. It's MAC. It's changed your life.
Sure.
You finally found the right liner. Then all of a sudden, you go to Sephora. Hi, I just want to get Tanya and Buxom. Oh, that was discontinued.
Yeah. Why?
Why? And then you look for two other, and there's, that one's too pink. That one's too orange. Tanya was perfect.
Yeah.
What did Tanya do to get booted? Why do they do that? Makeup people, tell me why. Why do you screw over people like this?
You fuck somebody in the ass in Sochi.
I mean, did nobody, really this didn't sell well enough?
Yeah.
And if that's the case, in this day and age, if you are going to discontinue can you please go on your Insta and say,
tell them,
I'm discontinuing. Kylie Jenner, listen to me, because someone's got some probably color they love.
Yeah.
I'm discontinuing like, I have a lip liner from Kylie Jenner that a makeup artist gave me.
Mm-hmm.
And I've gotten a lot of Kylie's stuff from Kris over the years. But this is the Kris Jenner lip liner, and it's absolutely perfection. It's probably, they do a new palette every week. It probably will never come back. I mean, what, should I buy 10 of them now and store them for the apocalypse? I mean, like, what, can you imagine, like, along with, like, canned goods, you just have, like, you find
Spam and lip liner.
I'm telling you, girls, if you have a lipstick that you just love, I know it feels like excessive to buy, like, 6.
Yeah.
And maybe, I don't know if they ever go bad, but I would buy 6 and put them in your fridge.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
You're going to wake up one day and...
It's not going to... 44 is going to be gone.
44 is going to be gone.
I felt the same way about... Remember when... Probably around the same time 44 was hot. I thought neon clothes, like the neon look, like that girl, like the girl you just showed, Jojo.
Neon's
I thought
back.
neon made you look good, like cute right away. You looked, tan and cute with neon clothes on. I think they should bring those back as well with 44. What is this?
This is 90 Day Fiancé.
Oh, okay.
And I've been watching it, and there's about 12 shows about 90 Day Fiancé, and it goes so slow. Well, I just discovered, and I'm so mad that I ignored it this whole time, is there's a show with Pillow Talk, called Pillow Talk, where your favorites watch a show that they're not on. Okay? Yes. So Annie and David.
Annie,
my two favorite, Annie and David are back, and they watch the show just like People's Couch. They watch the show and make their comments.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
It's so amazing because then I get to find out what's going on in the show in a much quicker way, and I get to see my favorites.
And they make her eat soup in like, how racist is that? You have to eat noodle soup in the bed. No, the producer's like, amps that up. Like, more noodle soup.
He has continued to gain weight. And
he's
sitting on the bed, and it's the worst angle.
The worst angle. It's a bad angle on
anybody.
But
they all have to be sitting on a bed.
Yeah.
So, let me tell you something, though, people, if you're listening. Sit on the bed, take one of the throw pillows, and put it in front of your stomach.
That's a great idea, yeah.
And then kind of lean on it when you make the comments. But Annie, she is back, and she loves to give the opinion. She's like, oh, now that Angela and Michael needs to know that he can't be so, can't be partying with his friend. Like, she's the best. She's funny. And you know what's also kind of nice? They're totally still into each other.
Yeah.
She doesn't even want to have kids.
Yeah, really?
Yeah,
I don't think is he available for that? Can he do?
He said, would you like to have a kid?
Are they still living in a firehouse or something? Weren't they living in a firehouse?
They show the outside of it. It doesn't look great.
Yeah.
But who knows if that's even the real outside. Right? Yeah. No, I think they moved out of the firehouse. Oh, okay. But I think it's great because you've exploited these people's lives on TLC. You've paid them nearly nothing.
Yeah.
But at least if you popped and you were kind of funny and people like me got to do impressions of you, you can do cameo, and then they throw them a few bones to sit on their bed and make comments about the other show. Yeah. And it's pretty good.
That is pretty good. Yeah, why not? Can I ask you a couple questions about some shows that I'm watching? Now, I'm sorry, did you have something to say about... You can go on.
Well, this is Angie with Michael. He's 30. She's 53. She's got one egg left. She went to a fertility clinic in Nigeria. And she called her daughter, and she said, I can tote it. I can carry it. My uterus is beautiful. But I need your egg and then Michael's sperm. But she actually didn't even ask her. She had Michael ask her. Michael asked her. And she's like, he's like, I need your egg.
So she took the daughter's egg.
The daughter said, fuck no.
Yeah,
she's like, you guys don't need to be parents again.
Right.
But what's Michael going to do? Because if he can't have a baby of his own.
He can't stay in this country? Or
he's not going to be with her.
Yeah.
So we don't know what's going to happen. This girl, Darcy, has a twin sister named Stacy. Look, they're exactly identical. And they dress alike and they sound alike, but they're like, you're tit for tat. Why are you trying to be tit for tat with me? I mean, why are you so... I mean, what's the problem? Like, they're
90 Day Fiancé people?
I don't know which one. I can't tell them apart. One of them is the star of the show. But... her sister is now appearing on it.
Okay.
And they're 44. They've gotten the exact same plastic surgery, which is great. They dress exactly the same. Wow. And they sound exactly the same. And you cannot tell them apart.
Yeah.
Which I always think is so amazing. Because if, like, one of them killed someone, their DNA is exactly the same.
Yeah. Like, for all the years we've known the Sklar brothers, those comedians,
Yes.
do you know which is Randy and which is Jason Sklar?
Do I know? No, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, it's what.
But they used to do where one would wear glasses and one
Yeah, it used
wouldn't.
to be one glasses and no glasses, yeah.
I mean, these girls look exact, and they know that they're going to stay in the limelight by looking exactly alike.
Yeah.
Anyway, whichever one was this girl, Darcy, she has a boyfriend. Wait, where is it? She has a boyfriend named Tom from England, and she just cries all the time trying to get him to marry her. But they're still going strong. She's in England. He still is like kind of into her. Let me see if there's anyone else I should talk about. This girl is a young girl who met a hot Muslim and married him and is now moving to Syria.
Oh, great.
All the places.
Yeah.
And then there's another woman who's 47 who's dating a 26-year-old. They're in Morocco or whatever. They just went to the Sahara Desert. And she's like, I need to tell him that I'm still legally married to my other husband who was from Morocco, who was 26.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, that was fun. I was watching it for a little while.
It's fun.
I can't stay.
It's fun.
I don't stick to anything very long.
The pillow talk is the way to go, people, because you can get through it quick.
Oh, who's this? She's cute.
So she's this beautiful Colombian girl, and he is this Houston guy.
Yeah.
But she's awful to him. She's like, sounds like Sofia Vergara, and she's like, you want to? So they were going to do something fun, and there was like this bungee cord type of a swing thing.
Right.
And he's like, I'm not doing that. I don't like the heights. And she's like, why you such a pussy? You pussy. You're not machismo. You're not a man. You're just a pussy man. And he goes, God, I mean, can we just do what? You don't even want to walk up the stairs. You don't like to be out. You're like sad. You're not fun. I don't know if I want a guy that's not fun and is a pussy and has no muscles and can do nothing.
That's how you. This is the girl who makes you drown, asking her to marry her, because you got to now I got to be fucking ballsy and come up with this weird way to dive down and show her a note, and now you're dead. I never fell for it. Like, when I go to Cabo, some people are like, jump in the water. I'm like, fuck that. This water, there's no regulations here. There's no lifeguard. I'm not a good swimmer. If I die here, that's the end of it. Like, I'm not going to be shamed into dying, because that's what would happen.
By the way, these two guys were in a, kayak?
Yeah.
Very close to shore in Catalina. They rent these kayaks. Shark they had the shark tooth. Shark just bit I'm sharks.
done with all that.
Let me just tell you, sharks are going crazy, and you know why?
You heard it here.
You know why? This is what I've heard, and I may be wrong. People, come with me.
Global warming. I don't know.
No, we've actually cleaned up the ocean so much that they're like thriving.
No, you're crazy. That's the oceans. I saw a sea turtle yesterday that died in like Catalina. I think it had so much plastic in it. It looked like a Fisher-Price toy. They opened its stomach.
With my Juicy Scoop straws, nobody's going to have straws anymore. You just get reusable, dishwasher safe stuff. All right, well, then I don't know why the sharks are so many. And then I just saw off of Orange County, there were 400 dolphins swimming.
Yeah, I see them all the time.
400 together.
I don't know, Malibu
Is there
window.
enough fish for them to survive? Because I heard there's not enough fish. So how are there 400 surviving? And then there's sharks so close to Catalina.
I don't know. I mean,
when I went to Brandon's camp, I jumped in the water to snorkel with them.
Yeah.
And there were little 5 feet sharks that we could see. Yeah.
Where?
At the bottom while I'm floating around.
Where was that camp?
In Catalina.
Oh, in Catalina. Oh, I remember the note he sent you. Can I tell you about a couple of my current obsessions on TV?
Yeah.
I like the Brady renovation. Have you been watching this?
No, tell me about it.
Okay, it's the Brady Bunch.
Yeah.
The house that was actually, I used to live right by it in Studio City. It was just a house that they used for the exterior shot of the Brady Bunch.
Oh, wait, before I forget one more thing, I just want to say.
Okay, go ahead.
Because I need to say this because I will forget. They finally get together and make out, okay? But they don't have sex.
But aren't they married?
No, they're sleeping in the same bed. They're not married yet. They don't have sex. In this last episode with this Colombian and this girl, he calls his ex-wife baby mama. And they're doing a FaceTime, and she's like, the baby mama, former wife, goes, so you guys, how is the chemistry? Have you, and she's like, well, because she was really pissed. And she's like, well, that they didn't have sex. well, we have to get closer sexually, so I don't know. I'm like, oh my God, he can't get it up.
Yeah.
He must have an erectile dysfunction. The first wife knows, and she's fucking like sticking it to him.
Wow.
Okay, get back to the renovation.
Renovation.
How can a whole series be done? They're just doing like one cabinet at a time?
Each cast member, they got all 6 of the original people back, and each cast member takes a room. So that is an episode.
Who's doing the architecture office downstairs?
Well, they had to redo the whole house, but they got it exactly and they also had to add on to the back because it was much smaller than the real house. So they add on to the back. So like Peter Brady has the front, yard and the landscaping and stuff like that. And Marsha Brady looks amazing. She still looks great. She looks like she could go on to have like a real career in like designing or whatever if she wanted to after the show ends. Peter Brady, I don't remember, he was hot for a bit.
He was married to the girl from America's Top Model, Adrienne Curry.
And they were on like one of those house.
They had their own reality show.
Not Sober House, but they were on a reality house show. That's where he popped.
But then they had their own reality show.
Yes, I do remember that.
Yes.
And he was all jacked
up.
Remember,
Divorced.
he was very well built. Anyway, that's gone. He's now fat and wearing bad outfits and then the other one is Cindy, the girl who plays Cindy Brady, Susan Olsen.
Yes.
Her haircut, like if you're gonna renovate something, I think it is the worst. 1980s, flipped back.
What about Eve Plum?
Eve Plum looks fine. They look fine. They're all, but some of them have aged better than others. And
Eve Plum. She's the one who got me obsessed.
You told me she's in some TV movie about a hooker or something, right?
Child, Dawn, teenage hooker.
It was Eve Plum.
It was Eve Plum.
Yeah, who played Jan Brady.
Jan Brady. Then made for TV movie about a teenage hooker that walked up and down Hollywood Boulevard.
Yeah.
And she had like a real cute kind of she had like a suede mini skirt and boots, and I was just like, that is the best outfit I've ever seen in my life.
It's not, you know what? You shouldn't wear that anymore.
But remember how she was a bitch when they'd have like the reunions?
She didn't show
like
up.
It's a Brady wedding and this and that. They just had to recast her.
Yeah, they
she
had
wouldn't
another
show
person.
up. Oh, now she shows up.
Yeah, they got them all now.
Now
they're all like.
Now that she can't act like a teenage hooker anymore.
Yeah.
Now she's back to doing the Brady reunions.
Like how. Like they must be like, Jesus, it's been 50 years. We still got to talk about this Brady shit.
Yes,
but
you do.
They're also like, let's take the check. Like they had them all pull up to the house in a car all together, and you could see someone like, oh fuck, I don't want to talk about this shit anymore. Like Greg does not seem interested.
I feel like they all felt that way at a certain point, and now it's like, please. Like I feel like every show is like, please, let's have a reboot, please.
Yeah.
I didn't realize when I was complaining driving up to the Paramount lot for the 8 years in a row that this would be the greatest job of my whole life.
Yeah.
And I thought I'd get sitcom after sitcom and they'd all be hits, and no, this was the only one.
Right.
Like, I'm sure if the opportunity came up, which it won't, Jason Alexander would be like, yes, let's bring Seinfeld back.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Michael
like,
Richards, too.
No one needs the money, but, of course he's going to be like...
Where do you stand on Bob Loves Amendola? It's the worst show on TV. It's like that guy. I like that comic,
Okay, wait a minute. I've seen the previews.
Yes, it's the worst thing you've ever seen.
It's the guy from Mike and
Molly.
Mike and Molly.
We used to have on Chelsea Lately
and then
real good guy.
He's dating someone that's
his
like...
His neighbor is a black African... It's like this.
Yes, it's like a 90
It's like 90 Day Fiance, kind of.
But they have the previews seem like they hate each other, have nothing in common, so why would they be dating?
That's the joke. It's kind of like got a moonlighting vibe, like this. But now they're... And if her father comes in, it's the worst thing you've ever seen in your life.
You watched it.
I watched one episode. Bob Loves Amendola.
Well, we're watching our favorite hate watch show.
Oh, what is it? You tell me, 911 or whatever.
Oh my God! They just had a tsunami.
Oh, I saw the because I watched the NFL and Fox always shows the commercials, and they showed the tide coming up, and it was brutal.
I actually thought they did a really good job.
Yeah.
But the way they did it, they're at the Santa Monica Pier, and then I was like, oh my God, and they look out. And all the water, like you can, is gone. Like you can see the sticks from the pier down to the ground.
Right.
And then they're like, "What's up with that?" And then this huge wave comes. And I don't know. It was like, I liked it.
Yeah. Well, I heard.
I always wonder what's going to happen in a tsunami. I always imagine it when I'm sitting at the beach, what I would do. How, because you got to climb up to something high and hang on it.
Yeah, like the model did.
Yes.
What was her name? She hung onto a tree. Her husband got swept out.
Yeah. So did Nate, the decorator. He lost his husband.
But they're back on their feet. He's got a new husband, and they just bought a $10 million house in the Hamptons. Yeah. So they're doing fine.
That's interesting that he can still hang out on beaches and stuff.
Yeah, because I know he bought a house in the Hamptons. Like, that's weird. You think he would get as far away from that as possible. Like, I'm going to go live in the Midwest where there's no chance of this happening.
When the kids were little, really little, and the tsunami happened, I always just imagined, like, what would I do? Like, who would I save?
Yeah. Oh, like that movie
Like I could only save one. Yeah, like who would I hold on to? Would I let the bigger one go that could maybe survive, or would I just pick the one that I felt liked me the most?
Which one would you do?
Well, I always said I would pick Brandon.
Yeah. Let Drake go take his chances out in the shark-ridden waters.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I couldn't watch that movie because of it.
That's the Naomi.
Now that the kids
Watts?
are older, maybe I could watch it.
Yeah.
But when it happened, it was like my kids were like little, and I imagined like what would I do? Like because people were like in their, like some people were like in their hotel rooms just relaxing, and like their whole everything just like went swishing out.
Oh, the entire ocean comes and covers the. Yeah, it was crazy.
So anyway, I hope that doesn't happen.
Another question about where you stand on the Christy Brinkley's daughter on Dancing with the Stars. Do you feel that it's
yes,
to me it's
this.
better? It's like better than the Kennedy assassination.
Why? Tell me why people are feeling about it.
People are feeling that she
that
faked,
it was planned.
Yeah, she faked falling down. They have her falling down on you see it, but it doesn't look like it was a fall where you would break something. But then again, she's just. Whether you want to say she looks amazing or not for 70, she's still a brittle-boned woman.
Right,
you know what
she's
I mean?
Still 68 years old.
Yeah,
like, I don't care how much milk you drink.
You can't do anything with the bones.
Yeah, people aren't breaking hips at 25. They're breaking them at 75. There's a reason for that.
So she took a fall that didn't look like it would be a bone-breaking fall, but it would be for 70.
Right.
Then, of course, now the other woman, who's the cook. We all know the cook, the Hamptons. He's a Lothario out in the Hamptons, the husband.
Yes.
Cook, you know who I'm talking about? Peter Cook.
Oh, Peter Cook.
Yeah.
Right. Well, you act like he was a cook. He was an architect.
Yeah.
Right. Her daughter with Peter Cook is named Sailor.
Sailor Cook.
And she's a model, too.
Well.
All right. Anyway.
She's a good-looking girl, but I think she just models with Christy Brinkley. Like, they do, like, daughter.
So now she took the spot.
She's got the spot.
And how is she doing?
She's not a bad dancer. She's certainly not won't win.
So people are thinking that it was like they planned it.
Yeah, like Christy Brinkley said, how can I get my daughter more in the spot? Here's what I had heard.
Also, everybody wants that to end. Everyone that I've talked to said it's the most grueling, hard thing.
Right.
And that oftentimes when they make it to the next week, they're like, holy shit, why couldn't I have been kicked off? Like, I'm so tired. This is so hard.
I just saw Drew Carey talk. Drew Carey was on something, and he said, I couldn't wait for them to kick me off. Like, I was done with it.
Yes.
After the first week.
Speaking of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, that was a big thing. That Lisa Vanderpump was on it, and she all of a sudden fainted or fell, and it looked a little suspicious.
Right.
And then she had to get out of it. And they didn't make that big of a deal because she was still like in good with all the ladies. Now she's no longer on the show. But all the ladies were like, did it really happen?
Yeah. I think there's
a lot of people that want to fake an injury and get off that show.
But anyway, the rumor is that Christy Brinkley wants her daughter to be like Kylie Jenner type model, like Instagram, where she's making trillions of dollars. And
well, who wouldn't want that?
And this would be the angle. Like, how else would it have happened? Then I will take a fall. Because she's still there every day. She's on the sidelines. She's like clapping and jumping up and down as if this girl... She's not getting
How is she jumping up and down if she has a broken leg?
Well, she has it was a wrist. It was a wrist.
Oh, a wrist.
Yeah, it wasn't a broken leg. So she is going like crazy on the sidelines as if this girl has won the Nobel Peace Prize. She got like a 4. Yeah, on a scale from 1 to 10.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, it's fascinating. I still watch that.
I love it. And I always think it's weird. Remember when like Sonny Bono, Cher's husband, died skiing? He ran into a tree.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they're like, And now his wife's taking his Senate seat or his...
Yes, that's right.
How can how can a wife, like, just take someone's job? I never understood how that worked, like, legally. Like, well, we'll just get another family member.
Yeah, that is weird.
It's really weird.
But I think he was like a mayor in Palm Springs or something. I don't think he didn't have to do a lot.
Okay, I always thought that was strange.
Yeah.
That all of a sudden
I
someone,
forgot about that
just
one.
because you're the spouse, but you've had no other office, that all of a sudden you're the person that replaces.
Well, I
your
always
husband.
think about that. You're Catholic, and I'm like. I always think about that when you're elected to be a godparent. Like the rule of the godparent is, if the parents die, then you have to get the kid.
I mean,
Wasn't that what it was supposed to be the case?
It's not that anymore.
I know,
mean,
of course
yes.
not. But imagine if we abided by those rules. I'd have to have some. The kid is now he's 32. Well, he's yours now. I'm like, oh, great.
It's a great movie idea,
somebody
right?
called. The writers of Bob Loves Amendola. Let's get this going.
Do I think it happened? I don't know that you could fake a wrist thing.
Yeah. Anyway, it's just an interesting theory.
But I'm down for doing it when I get picked.
Then let one of your sons dance.
And then that'll be the first gay couple, and it'll be a double win for me.
But who's going to be the gay one?
Well, neither of them are gay, but if I told,
just
told Brandon he had to do it,
right, dance,
he'd Drake.
No, they haven't had a gay couple on Dance with the Stars yet, have they?
Because it would change. I think it would change the whole. They've had gay people on, but it's always been one male, one woman.
Right.
I don't know if they've had anyone trans yet. It's gonna happen in a minute.
Well, I heard there's always rumors when they're about to announce the cast that Caitlin's going to be one of the cast members, but it's yet to happen.
Well, also with a Caitlyn, it's very hard to find a male dancer partner that's tall enough.
Yeah. It's very hard to find size 15 Jimmy Choos. That's my favorite joke.
I think they're size 16. Anyway.
Oh, no. Pretty good.
But no, I think that's part of it is that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. But anyway, that's what then I could do. Then I could be like, oh my God, who's going to replace me? So what's the best part about the show is that Kris and I are going to be together in Thousand Oaks on October 18th and 19th.
Is this the same Thousand Oaks place we played last time?
Yeah, but this time it's 2 nights.
Oh, that's a nice little spot.
I know, it's really nice.
I like it up there.
And there's restaurants right next door. If you want something casual, there's Mastro's across the street if you want to be a fancy person. It's at 7:30 both nights, so it's one show. So you see us. You still have a full evening. You can go to Bogey's after.
Mastro's beforehand. Oh, that'd be nice.
Right, and then you can go to Bogey's after, or you can go to the Stonehouse.
Are these these
are the
bars
happening spots.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yes. And where else are you coming in the next few weeks? Where else so they can see you?
The next one is Thousand Oaks, and then I go to Omaha Funny Bone,
Nebraska.
Funny Bone in Omaha, Nebraska, October 15th, 14th, 15th, 16th.
What? That's when you're with me.
The week after that. My apologies.
When is it?
The week after that, 23rd.
Oh, Halloween, before Halloween, so 27 or whatever.
Yes, right.
Very good. And you go to Chris Franjola, where for your tickets?
Omaha Funny Bone, the 24th, 25th, and 26th. Franjola.com has all my, things.
And Kris has his own podcast, Cover to Cover.
Cover to Cover podcast. People
and then
he
talked about me, defended me. Everyone just got real wet for that.
Well,
when you defended me on your podcast.
Now, they did get wet for it, but not only was I defending you, I was defending comedy as well.
You were.
Because I know if you want to talk about it still, because it's kind of an old.
We'll put it on. Yeah. Put it on. Bark this for the.
She was driving. The woman was. I watched all her shit.
You were getting so angry.
I was getting so fucking angry at the fact that it's just not how it works. Like.